the Bat, the Cat, Danny DeVito.
And Shrek, not pictured.
This movie is a fever dream.
Which I don't know why I didn't expect that after they were like, oh yes, the origin story of the penguin. He had weird hands, so he became Moses and went to the lived in the zoo for 3.5 decades with penguins. Maybe I should have seen that
I
coming.
always knew that Danny DeVito's father was Mr. Bean. Welcome to Batman Returns, everybody.
I don't know.
Man.
What I just watched. I'm honestly struggling to find words.
How is this a more chaotic movie without Joker?
How did they make the? Why is the most chaotic Batman movie not the one with Joker?
No, it's Penguin and Catwoman.
I mean, I guess the other thing, it's not that surprising that the one with Catwoman is probably the horniest one.
Yeah, very horny.
It is a bit surprising that it's as horny as it is even when Catwoman isn't there. But
I think that was just a Tim Burton thing to just make the villains horny.
even freaking Batman is horny.
He's always
Everybody's
horny.
Usually he can at least like hold himself back with his brain, but
And to think,
then again,
and to
this
think-
version of Batman isn't really that smart.
and to think, this is horny Batman before the Bat Nipples next movie.
Yeah. Just it's like at first it's like this for a while I was like this movie could be summed up as corny and horny, and then it got really unhinged and I was like, well, I guess from dropping that I can't think of a rhyming word to describe that, but corny and horny,
Bad.
and then it just what the frick is happening?
So, the beginning part with the first attack on the first tree lighting. First off, why did they make a Christmas movie in June? Why'd they release this movie in June?
Because they didn't want to wait another 6 months to release it. And that was when it was done.
I guess.
They were too late for Christmas, so they're like, well, I guess we'll just release it when we can.
Summer!
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's like that's like learning that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special was aired in like May.
Yeah, it's a little bit different when it's a Batman movie that's also a Christmas movie as opposed to literally just a Christmas movie. At that point, yeah, you need to have it on Christmas, but this one is at least, it's a Batman movie.
So do we go over plot or characters first?
I don't know.
Okay then,
This is plot, I don't know.
why is this the movie with the clowns? With the clown gang?
Why does it?
I feel like Tim Burton got their thing confused. The gangsters were in the previous movie, and this one has clowns. Did he get confused?
man.
Did Penguin and Joker switch henchmen for a year?
Listen, Jack, I have a deal for you.
I take your clowns. You take my mobster friends.
Ah, deal. I love it. Oh, dang it, I gave up the girl. Plot twist, the lady with the dog was Harley Quinn the whole time.
God damn it.
Yeah. Where were we?
Max Shrek? Christopher Walken doing Doc Brown in cosplay?
I just cannot get over it that his name is Shrek. Which obviously, like, would not, like, of course nobody would bat an eye back in 1992 about that.
Yeah.
But it just adds, it's like just nowadays it just adds an extra layer of what the frick to this movie. That just every so often you just hear someone talk about Shrek in this freaking Batman movie.
Yes. Gotham Santa Claus, Max Shrek. Man, Shrek the Halls is a lot different than I thought it would be. We're not even talking about the movie. So, Max Shrek.
Welcome to Rambling Review if you're new here. There's a reason it's called Rambling Review.
We're 7 minutes in. We have not gotten through a point.
I said it's corny and horny. That's something for resembling a review.
So...
sorry, what did you say?
Max Shrek.
Max Shrek. I think for the most part he actually worked pretty well as an antagonist type character.
I feel like this movie already had enough antagonists to deal with, but I'm kind of getting Spider-Man 3 vibes with how many villains are in this cast.
Yeah, but as opposed to Spider-Man 3, like, at least they're all... It feels like they're a lot more tied together than they are in Spider-Man 3. In Spider-Man 3, it's just kind of like 3 villain plots, and then they team up at the end, I guess.
Yeah, meanwhile, this one, it's like Max Shrek created both of them, technically. Gave them a way... Gave an opening to both of them. Yeah. Both of the villains.
So...
Literally helped the Penguin via blackmail, and then pushed Selena out a window. We'll get to her later. We'll get to whatever the fuck Michelle Pfeiffer was doing. So yeah, man, moviegoers in 1992, who the hell would vote for him? He's clearly evil. Things changed.
It's... At the time of recording, it's November 2024, for context.
Late November 2024. This is probably coming out next month, is the funniest part. Hey, we'll be on time.
So, yeah, I don't know if we need to explain further than that.
I do like the foreshadowing of him making a list while at the public records place, where it's like, oh, he's just trying to find his family, but Batman's like, he's there for another reason. He probably already knows his parents. Batman's actually right on the money with that one. Mm-hmm. He was getting the list of the firstborns at that point. Aha. But then it's like Max Shrek decides to get him to run for mayor.
Yeah. Because he wants a pawn, I guess. A political pawn.
Mm-hmm. And then, Penguin hates Batman. And then Catwoman decides she hates Batman too. We gotta go through Catwoman's origins now, don't we?
I guess so, yeah.
Selena Kyle.
So she's like the very awkward, single as hell,
Secretary
of
assistant
Shrek.
lady.
The Shrek. And
for some ungodly reason goes into his secret files, tells him to his face
that
she did.
Secret files. And then he's like, yeah, no, you. Then he's like, yeah, no, I have to kill you now. And she's like, oh, you do? And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. And then he pushes her out a window. But then a bunch of cats show up and bite her fingers and give her mouth to mouth, and suddenly she has 9 lives. And is insane. And then she vandalizes her own house.
Where I'm just questioning what the fuck Tim Burton gave her as direction for that scene. Where it's like, okay, you've just became a cat supervillain. Go.
Vandalism.
I became a supervillain. Gotta make a latex costume.
I guess she knows how to do that.
And she just had the whip skills beforehand. Unless that came with the cat DNA too.
I do actually kind of like how her costume looks very thrown together, though.
Yeah.
It kind of adds to the very unhinged feel of her character in this movie.
Mm-hmm. So, their first fight. What the hell was their first fight? So we have random cuts to around where the rooftops are. You have no idea what roof they're on and what roof they're falling toward.
Yeah.
Batman has napalm bombs.
Let me put this in proper context. He's hanging from her whip, and she's taunting him, and then he just pulls out some blue vial, throws it at her, this blue liquid splashes on her arm, and she's like, ah! And then, as far as I could tell, like, eventually, like, after a couple cuts, you can figure out that she, like, fell down, I guess, but it looks like she goes flying backwards, like, 20 feet, because the camera work is not very well done. And you're like, what is even happening? And later they tell you it was napalm.
And she literally has, like, bulging warts where the napalm landed. It's fine. Batman just literally radioactively scarred someone.
I mean...
Then again, blows the fiery exhaust of the Batmobile at some clown, and then throws a clown down with dynamite strapped to his chest that Batman brought with him.
Listen, Batman doesn't kill.
Shows Axis chemicals again. This Batman gives no fucks.
So, I was going to be kind of critical of Catwoman having her claws come out every time she stabs anyone, but honestly it kind of also fits into the thrown together costume thing.
Yeah.
So honestly, it actually kind of makes sense. It does become very apparent in this movie that Batman is literally just wearing rubber, though.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you just don't need body armor at all.
He literally gets hit by bullets and goes down for like 10 seconds.
You deal with guns all the time. You'd think he would come up with some sort of defense.
Oh, should I also mention the first scene of everyone meeting each other is Batman and Penguin having like this dark conversation with each other, being like, you don't think you'll win, do you? And then fucking Catwoman cartwheels in, poses, and then just goes to standing and goes, meow. And then the building behind her explodes. I think that's the best showing of what this movie is like.
Also, the best out-of-context scene in this whole movie, and probably the whole trilogy. This is just Batman and Cobblepot just standing there, and then Catwoman freaking cartwheels over. Meow. Come explosion! Like, what the frick?
And then Cobblepot flies off on an umbrella. What is this movie? So after the fight, first off, truck of kitty litter.
She falls in the kitty litter.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Why not at this point?
That was my favorite part of Batman Arkham City, when I jumped off the building into the truck of cat litter.
Always there in every Batman film. Every Batman movie. You just see the kitty litter truck passing by.
I can't believe they ripped off Assassin's Creed like that.
So, then we get to Catwoman and Penguin teaming up. Sorta. I don't even know what that scene was. It's Penguin just being really horny and Catwoman being like, I want a deal. I want to deal with you. No, I mean I want to kill the Batman. Is that your word for your virginity? And then Bruce and Selena form a relationship.
And yeah, he literally is just like, oh, I met this lady one time. I'm going to go 100% for her. Oh wow, she's kind of and then he's like, man, I have some secrets that my old girlfriend didn't like. And
I'm like you might think I'm like some kind of Ted Bundy thing. I wouldn't be that bothered by it. And then he's confused when she turns out to be a psycho later.
It's like, oh my goodness! The reason you'd be okay with dating a psychopath is because you're a psychopath? Whoa! And then he just is like, okay. But then once he realizes that, he goes full I can fix her mode.
This is literally just being like, I can fix her. This is literally the relationship of, don't worry, I can fix her.
He's so horny.
So, then Cobblepot's plan to frame Batman happens, where first off, a dog stole a Batarang like 20 minutes before. So Penguin just comes up with the plan to throw it at this actress and have her fall off a building.
Yeah, and then he somehow hot wires the Batmobile. I don't know how he
his gang
knows how to do that.
Because he went to the public records and found schematics for the Batmobile, I guess.
Well,
I don't know how else he'd get
it. Maybe Batman threw away some old schematics and found in the sewer.
I found this shredded paper. It turned out to be schematics of the Batmobile. I was just trying to find Shrek's reports. Well, I guess I found the Batmobile schematics.
Speaking of which, that doesn't make any sense either. Like, how the frick do you sort through Shrek's
shredded
papers through everybody else's in the whole city? I know he had like 30 years. Well, actually, no, he wouldn't have had 30 years because Shrek wouldn't be doing things for 30. You'd probably have a couple years.
Yeah.
If you had 36 years, I'd still struggle to believe it.
So, their plan goes off. Batman is framed, and they also hotwire the Batmobile, where Batman not only has the wherewithal to punch through the Batmobile to get to the hotwire, to the device that's controlling it, but also be able to record Penguin's voice lines. He just happens to have a CD to plug into the Batmobile to record Penguin's call. Man, I'm so glad I had this blank CD on hand.
And I'm so glad that the Batmobile getting hotwired doesn't prevent this from working. It's so weird how Batman in these movies just bounces back and forth between, like, being so overly prepared that it's unbelievable, being so brilliant and prepared that it's unbelievable, to being a freaking idiot. Just back and forth. I don't understand.
So, afterwards, he hacks into the Penguin's acceptance speech. So I guess he already won the vote. And then the whole town turns on him. He shoots into the crowd, runs off to the sewer, and decides, you know what, being mayor did not work. Let's steal all the firstborn sons.
Which he apparently had been preparing for all along.
I mean, he was. That's why he was at the public records in the first place.
Sure. I don't know why I guess he just went back to his old plan.
And then
Batman, and then literally they're just like, "Oh,
get the kids in the train.
Get the kids in the train." And then Batman just shows up,
and then immediately finishes that.
Black. Oh man, so much for that plan. Batman saves the day.
Luckily, I have my other plan.
Luckily,
March of the Penguins in with missiles, which Batman is also prepared for.
I don't understand how Penguin is prepared for this. And Batman is prepared for him being prepared. What? I don't know how Penguin prepared this, and I don't know how Batman saw that coming.
Yes. I stopped the children from being kidnapped. The next strategy he'll try is to bomb the city with penguins and kill 100,000 people.
I think that's the moment when I just lost it and was like, I don't understand what's going on in this movie.
What gave it away? The Batman, the tense Batman music over March of the Penguins.
It's also kind of weird
And
how
Penguin's rubber duck.
It's like they have all this screen time for the Penguins marching out. They go all the way out into the city, and then Batman basically presses a button, and they're like, "Oh, I guess we're going back." And then they have a whole scene of them walking all the way back. And then Batman freaking has a button to have all the Penguins fire their missiles for some reason.
Which he doesn't press.
Which
Penguin does.
The Penguin presses the button for some reason, even though he probably should have failed to figure out that's what it does. But then I don't know what Batman's
Oh yeah,
plan
also
is here,
how about
because he just blows up the whole area that he is in and very easily could have killed himself.
How about the fact that Penguin has this whole freaking rubber duck float that has been shown multiple times throughout the movie. He's revving it up it shows that it goes on land. He climbs it upstairs with its wheels. And then just as he's about to do something with it, Batman pops out of the sewer in the bat jet thing and destroys the duck! What was the point of the duck?
Yeah, it was fun.
Why was that there?
He was gonna get away with the duck, but then he...
Ah yes, I'm going
to
to very slowly get out of the Gotham Zoo in my giant rubber duck float. No one will notice me leaving. And then Penguin falls into the water. So then Penguin falls backwards into his main base. Where, by the way, randomly he just kidnapped Shrek, who didn't want his son to be kidnapped.
He's like, "I'm going to kidnap your son," and then Shrek is like, "No, take me instead." For some reason, even though he's been shown to be like a kind of a selfish slime ball this whole time, but no!
No, he has a heart. He cares about his son.
I care about my son, though. Which, okay,
I pushed the lady out of a building, but I care about my son.
I pushed my secretary out. Honestly, I can actually kind of make sense of that. That actually kind of makes sense.
I pushed my secretary out of a building. I let the Penguin Man eat this guy's nose. And then tried to turn him into a mayor.
He has a son.
His gang's been shooting up the town. But I care about my son.
Bad people are like that, okay? It actually kind of makes sense. Now that I don't think I realized that was his son, and now that I realize that that's his son, I'm like, oh, actually that makes sense.
Yeah, firstborn son, remember?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's okay. This is all making a lot more sense now.
So, Catwoman shows up in the base. Both her and Bruce unmask right in front of Shrek.
Which, Catwoman, sure. But Batman? Shrek is right there!
RIP!
And you are intending to save his life!
He'll go to jail.
There's nobody in jail that would care about your secret identity. Not like the criminals you're putting in jail as Batman.
Who said I'm putting criminals in jail? I throw them into bombs. That's another point. This Batman kills. Why the fuck does he care about Shrek going to jail?
I don't know, man.
I get third-degree birds to clouds and throw brutes into sewers with bombs, but I care about Shrek. I love his movies.
Also, I like how he didn't design his mask in such a way that he can just take it off. He has to literally tear the entire top of the mask off.
Which also really tells you how well that thing is armored. Where it's just Batman putting a slight bit of force and able to rip the whole mask off.
It's literally just rubber.
So yeah, So yeah, they unmask, and Selena decides... And so Shrek... So first off, Shrek found a gun underwater, which works!
Yeah. Yeah.
So he shoots it at Batman. Batman goes down for like a whole 3 minutes. And Selena just walks towards him, losing lives apparently.
I'm not sure why she would lose an entire life from him shooting her in the leg. Like, maybe long term, but not immediately. Like, she probably, like, good chance she'd bleed out, but...
So yeah,
it's not like, oh, dang, I took a bullet to the shin, I guess I'm dead.
So then she pulls out the taser, and also pulls out one of the power wires, kisses Shrek, and electrocutes him to death.
Have I mentioned this movie is horny?
So Batman's trying to go for the rubble and find her, finds Shrek's body, and is like, moves him over. And then Penguin comes out of the water bloodied!
Comes out of the water bloodied, dying, and is like, this is my chance to kill Batman.
Pulls out an umbrella. It's a cute one.
It's a cute one. I grabbed the wrong umbrella, and that's the only reason I didn't kill Batman. And then he falls over and dies. And then some penguins show up and have a freaking funeral for him.
Where Danny Elfman's like, sad music. Sad funeral music.
They have, like, legit sad... like, proper sad music for this random funeral for the penguin that you just run by literal, actual animal penguins. With Batman just awkwardly standing around watching.
While the place is on fire.
Yeah, the whole place is falling apart because of the penguins that fired missiles, by the way. And Batman is just hanging around watching this funeral. And may I remind you, Batman created the button that caused this all to collapse.
So first off, what the fuck happens to all the penguins outside? So and then they just gloss over that. The next scene is Alfred just picking Bruce up in the car. Bruce is in like a sweater. So it's like, Alfred, I'm tired. Can you pick me up? I kind of destroyed my bat glider. And then he thinks he sees Catwoman's shadow. Goes to try and see her. Finds a cat instead. Takes it home with him, and the signal goes off, and Catwoman looks at it, and then the movie ends.
And by the way, we never see Catwoman again.
Nope. Girl 2 of this quadrology down. So... let's go over the characters now that we've gone for... anything else on the plot first, actually?
No.
Anything else on Catwoman that we want to talk about? Did we go over everything?
Mostly. We'll probably forget something. We'll probably think of something after the fact like we always do.
Oswald?
Yeah.
Batman?
He's still got them lips.
Those pursed up lips.
But he can move his head now. Wow.
Yes. 3 years of technology later, we're able to have Batman duck and move his head.
Thank goodness.
Also, thank God he got that mask ripping off in one take. Those are probably kind of expensive.
No, he's got like 6 more of them in the Batcave.
We went for like 4 of them trying to film the scene of him tearing it off.
By the way, he also continues to be really bad, really unbelievably bad at keeping his identity secret.
I wear masks all the time.
I wear masks all the time. Oh, I've met you before. We have? Oh, I'm sorry, I must be thinking of someone else.
Sorry, I must be thinking of some other blonde girl that helps me fight villains. Who let Vicky Vale into the Batcave? Also, how the hell does Alfred in every movie just keep being sassy?
Because he's Alfred.
Like, how does it, no matter how bad the Batman movie is, how does it always get the right Alfred?
You gotta nail Alfred.
He's more important than Batman.
Exactly. What?
So...
You might as well call this Alfred Returns.
So, Joel...
He's the most important character.
So, Joel... Thoughts on the movie? Would you recommend this?
I would recommend this in the certain context of like having a dumb movie night with friends. It's one of those things where it's like it's an experience. I'm not gonna say it's a like you shouldn't watch just thinking it's going to be a great movie. I don't think it really is. But I can't say I wasn't entertained.
Yeah. A lot of people say that this one is one of the top-ranking Batman films. Like, there are people that say this is better than, like, Dark Knight. I don't see it. I haven't even watched the movie, and I don't see it.
That sounds like nostalgic goggles to me.
Would you recommend the Batman fan?
Maybe.
Recommend a person who doesn't know anything about Batman?
Depending on the context, possibly. But if I wanted them to take Batman seriously at all, I'd probably have them watch the Dark Knight movies first, and then come back to this.
What are you talking about? This is the serious adult Batman movie.
It's trying to be. It's trying. And only about half of the problems are just not aging super well.
So, fun fact. The reason why this was the last Tim Burton Batman film was because of low sales of McDonald's Happy Meals of Batman Returns toys.
What?
Because they couldn't sell it to kids. It was too adult to sell to kids. So they took Tim Burton off the director's chair for Batman for after this one.
Got it. The movie was too horny.
Nope, too adult. People said it was too violent and too dark. This is the dark, edgy Batman film. This is the one that was too dark for kids. Too edgy. Too adult.
And then the Dark Knight comes along and is like, so this is just not for kids.
But we can't sell Happy Meal toys about it. Don't you want this face on your Happy Meal toy? Don't you want these faces on your Happy Meal toys? By the way, how's the music by Danny Elfman? Honestly, I think it's the best part of this picture once again.
Yeah, I do feel like it feels a little bit off in a couple of scenes. The March of the Penguin.
Elfman's trying his goddamn best to make this seem really epic.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of like one of the issues of this movie is it feels like it's trying to take itself seriously, but the plot is not something you can take seriously.
What are you talking about? What's not serious about this? What do you mean Catwoman eating a bird isn't serious? And spray painting her dollhouse black. That she just has in her apartment.
But honestly, like, watching this movie and treating it as being kind of corny, which I don't think they intended it to be corny, but it comes off as very corny, and that's kind of why it's still kind of entertaining.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
It kind of has a sort of charm to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually did, like, there's a lot of things where I'm critical of this in terms of it was clearly trying to take itself seriously. But most of the things I'm complaining about, I actually found very entertaining to watch.
Yes. So. I think mostly because this movie is just unhinged, and honestly, you just have fun watching how insane it gets.
Yeah.
And by the time the penguin's funeral is happening, you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah. Like,
why does the penguin have dark green blood spouting out of his mouth and just falls over dead? Batman did not throw a punch in the entire climax. Batman did not do anything in this climax.
He made the button that the penguins fired the rockets with.
The penguin pushed that button.
But Batman made the button.
The penguin used more of Batman's gadgets in the climax than Batman did. Imagine what superhero movie has a climax where there's no where the superhero just stands there for 90% of it.
So I guess to go back to whether I recommend this or not, I'd say I recommend this as long as you know what you're getting into. This movie is wild.
I mean, what do you expect? It's a Christmas movie in June.
Fair point.
Honestly, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, goodbye this actor for Batman. Goodbye Catwoman.
Until The Dark Knight Rises.
Where you're maybe in that. I don't even remember you in it.
She's in The Dark Knight Rises.
I don't even remember. That's the one Dark Knight movie I watched, and I don't remember Catwoman being in it. That might not be a good sign. So, ready for Bat Nipple's next Batman movie? It's time to head into the Joel Schumacher duology. With Batman Forever, which, fun fact to everyone who knows us, our previous Batman watches, which were off Rambling Review, and just to know how bad our opinions are, Forever was our favorite one to watch previously.
We'll see if that holds up on this viewing. I mean, remember when we said
Actually,
Spider-Man 3 was our favorite
beforehand, would you say this is better or worse than the first than Batman 89?
It's worse at trying to be it's worse at succeeding at being a serious movie, but it's more entertaining.
I think that's actually the exact opposite of what we had the first time we watched these. Because I think I remember us putting Returns at the lowest.
Yeah, I feel like my original... I almost think I was trying to take it seriously. I wonder if I was like trying to take it seriously last time, and it was just like, what the frick?
Dun 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 dun.
So it's like, I think this one is like the worst made movie. But it's more but I was entertained by it more because it kind of, it's like the first movie was kind of like, it was alright. It was just an alright, generally pretty serious movie with some fun bits because the Joker's pretty fun.
Okay, whenever Joker was on screen.
Yeah. And this movie is kind of bad, but it's so bad it's good.
Yeah. It's back good. See you guys next Batman review for Batman Forever.
Take care.
Bat nipple time.
Oh boy.